I never said I was a lesbian because I did not feel connected being a woman somehow. So somehow this word lesbian did not come to me. Like I always say that I was gay or I said I was queer. But then there's another long process where I accepted myself as a transgender. Then
Hi everyone, this is Bitupon here. Welcome to Mindful Talks, where I invite guests from various fields to talk about their knowledge and their experiences in health and wellness, spirituality, personal development, and various spaces. Today I am with Mr. Milin Dutta, who is a proud trans man, a filmmaker, an activist, and a philanthropist from Assam living in the United States from last 25 years. His story is different. He was biologically inbred as a female. He was born into a female body, but much later in his life, he realized that he was in the wrong gender. But in those days, he was not aware of anything. He was not even aware of the queer community. He was worried to come out in public, fearing the behavior of his parents and the society. He wanted to live free without being bound by the normative structure of the society. And so in 1994, he decided to move to the United States. He accepted himself for what he was and he moved on with his life. In 2010, his sister was diagnosed with breast cancer. This made him go back to his genealogy where most of his family members had cancer. Considering his family history, he decided to get a test done for himself. Doctors told him that due to an unknown gene in his body, his chances of getting breast cancer was very high. Doctors advised him to remove his breasts and ovaries to reduce the risk of cancer. This ultimately led him to his sex-based transition from a female to a male. Recently, he has produced an Assamese movie named Fireflies Jonaki Porwa, which is a story of a trans woman standing against the tide to be herself.
ৰমি পিংকি আৰু মুন্নি আজি সকলোৰে মাজত জাহ্নৱীক আমাৰ গ্ৰুপত চেলা বনোৱা
The actor of the film won Best Actor in Kashish Mumbai International Queer Film Festival, and the film has been showcased in multiple film festivals nationally and internationally, like the Asian Film Festival Los Angeles, Indian Film Festival of Ireland, Twin Cities Film Festival, and many more.
Appreciate you letting us be one of the 9 film festivals that your film is being showcased at, and we want to make sure everybody supports you. So thank you very much for bringing your film here.
He has contributed a lot to the society. He is spreading awareness about the LGBTQ community to the general public in USA and India by being an active founder of various social groups. For his love for Northeast India, he also founded a grassroots organization named Anajori, through which he handles various projects to empower young leaders to make social changes. Anajori also arranges webinars which promote local heroes along with the promotion of entrepreneurship related to farming and environment, education, health, animal welfare, gender sexuality, art and craft, etc. Let's talk to him and find out what are the life challenges he has gone through, what are the difficulties and how he faced all his difficulties, and what are various social projects he is working on right now. I'm excited to talk to him. Let's get started. Sir, thank you so much for joining. I'm really glad to have you on my talk show. How are you doing, sir?
I'm honored. I'm doing great.
Thank you so much, sir. I can really understand the difficulties that you must have gone through because of the society and the place you lived. And what I know from your story is that your realization happened when you were doing your engineering in Surat, then you moved to the US. So I want to know when you decided to go to the US because of in search of freedom, what difference did you find in the US compared to the Indian society, and did you really get the freedom that you really needed by moving to the US?
I think I was very young that time. So freedom, yes, it gave me quite a lot of freedom. I was away from everybody, but I was quite, at the same time, I was quite Indian. My mindset. It's not that I went out partying and going to bar and stuff like that. I didn't nothing like that. Basically, we group of people who are in the IT Indian, we stuck together.
Right.
Maybe we become more Indian than the Indians living in India. So no, but I got the freedom to be independent in a way of my thought process, like who I am. what I like, rather than what expected of me by my family or the society. You know, so a more introspect happened. Okay, but still, like from I went there in '94, and since '94 to almost till 2000, you know, I was not out. I had uh, partners, but I was not out. So after 2000 or
What do you
2000,
mean out? I mean, are you talking about physically going out of your house
no, no,
or, okay, okay. Oh,
I'm
out in the
I'm
public telling about yourself. Okay,
no. When you say in the LGBT community, when you say out, that
okay,
means out of the closet.
okay,
That means
okay.
I'm out as a queer person.
All right. Got
So
it.
when you say out, you have to be out to yourself. That means you
Okay.
accept yourself who you are, and
Mm-hmm.
then you will, say that I'm a queer person. To
Mm-hmm.
say that I'm a queer person, it takes somebody long time, some people lifelong, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because you have to accept that you are, so-called different from others, So that's a long process, and specifically in those days, right? So it took time. Yeah, go ahead.
So I also know that, you finally, your father has accepted you, your parents have accepted you. But initially you were a little reluctant to come in front of your parents. So I want to know, initially when you told to your parents about you, what was their initial reaction? I know that later everything was fine, but initially how did they
No,
react?
so yeah, that information is not totally correct.
Okay, okay.
My parents never rejected. I mean, I never had a talk. My parents, I'm the youngest of four children. All right.
Okay. Hmm.
My father married, later in life. So
Hmm.
there's a huge age difference. All right.
Okay. Hmm.
So I never said anything about my gender and sexuality to my parents.
Hmm.
So there's nothing about acceptance or rejection because I never said anything. I'm
Hmm.
just who I am. Right. Assamese community or Indian community, there's a huge age gap, and out of respect or whatever, I never talk about gender and sexuality in front of my parents. I did talk to my sibling, but not to my parents.
Hmm. Hmm.
Later on, when I decided, I actually did not, even my transgender, my transition, I delayed it, though I knew I did not accept myself. So this whole coming out, also different stages. I have to come out as a queer person, you know. I never said I was a lesbian because I did not feel connected being a woman somehow. So somehow this word lesbian did not, you know, come to me. It like I always say that I was gay or I said that I was queer. But then there's another long process where I accepted myself as a transgender, then then to come out again. So in
Hmm.
that process, I knew that I would look different. I was hoping that I would look like Tom Selleck. I thought that I'll have mustache and all that. So I thought that my mom will faint. So I had to come and give her, had a talk. So that is the moment I finally talked to my parents. All right.
Hmm.
My mom is, housewife. She didn't have much idea about what I was talking about and all that. So my
Hmm.
mom didn't necessarily know, but my father did, and he never said. He totally accepted me from the day one. You know.
That's really nice, actually. But
Yeah.
you know that acceptance is not there everywhere in all of
Yeah.
the communities. So, what exactly do you think is the problem? Why are people not really ready to accept it? Because let's say, for example, if somebody is a blind, let's say from birth, it's not in his hand. I mean, he cannot do anything. He's blind from birth, right? So we don't
Yeah.
say that I don't accept him as a blind person or something. He is like that. We can't do anything. It's not in our
Yes.
hands. But in terms of sexual orientation, why people are not still ready to accept if somebody is different?
Um, again, if you go back and look at Ramayana and Mahabharata and all that,
Hmm.
you'll see that it exists there and
I
it's
know.
accepted. All
Yes.
right. So, but we were ruled by Mughals and by, Christianity, right? Which is more of oppressing culture in my point of view. So, and it has removed, all this stuff was removed or suppressed, right? Um, British made the rule, Section 377, right? Criminalizing homosexuality. Um, so Hinduism, I think, always accepted difference. That is my what I learned and I read from books or articles. Um, and to be honest, in Assam, when I came out to my family or my relative, and when I said that okay, I'm queer or I'm gay, they meant like, hmm. They stop for a minute or so, and after that they continue their conversation. So I cannot say that in my family I face any discrimination as such. You know, and my family is quite liberal in that way. Um, but others, I think people are scared of unknown, or and also it comes back to patriarchy, right? So being queer or being lesbian, when you're a lesbian, and yesterday I was talking to some people where I said that, you know, uh, I was talking about IVF, that a friend of mine is planning to have a child. And I mentioned that the, man is optional nowadays, husband, because you can buy sperm, you know, and to be asked, if you ask modern women, if you specifically you are Indian modern women, and then if your husband, be, smart and outgoing, but at, you know, work 9 to 5 job and come home and put on the TV and sit over there expecting the wife who also have a job and come back and take care of a child and make food for that, husband. Modern women will say that no, I don't need a husband.
Right.
If I could have a child by getting some sperm, I would just have a child. And that is going on in US. Another 10 years, it will be common over here too, right? So, so my point is that new ideas, people are scared. Patriarchy, coming back to patriarchy. If you if you think that men are optional, I'm sure that I'll get quite a lot of hate email messages, right? But it's come to patriarchy, period. You know, if you talk to your Aita sometime, the Aita could be more, when I'm in Spain, saying in Assamese, Aita means
Aita means
grandmother.
grandmother, yeah. For the
Yeah.
people who don't
Uh,
know, yeah.
so sometimes they are more attractive. My Pehi, who is my aunt, she's a physically challenged, woman who did graduate and worked, though she is physically challenged. And she's quite open-minded. She's 70 plus, and she's quite open-minded. She knows, in fact, she surprised me saying that she knows about bisexuality and all that stuff. And she's quite open-minded. So it comes back to, again, where are you from? In fact, sometimes into your villages, women, or sometimes men, seems to be more open-minded than these most educated people.
Nice. Okay, so I want to talk about your film right now. How did you end up becoming a filmmaker, sir? Because you have been doing so many other work like activist work and all. And how did you get interested in filmmaking?
Um, I can't say that I was interested in filmmaking. I didn't know anything about filmmaking or anything such.
Okay.
But I happened to go to Islam, and
Okay.
I wanted to meet Assamese Hijra. And the first time I met an Assamese Hijra, and then I
Okay,
basically
let
thought
me
about.
stop you right here, sir. Actually, for viewers, many people get confused between hijras and transmen. They think that both are same, but both are different, right? For viewers, can you tell
Yes,
them that what exactly is the
yes.
difference?
So I am trans,
Hmm.
but I'm not Hijra, right?
Hmm.
So transgender is a big term. It's an umbrella, all right. And more people are now opening about their sexual preferences and stuff like that. And there's more terms have come,
Hmm.
under the transgender,
Hmm.
right? But transgender mean what? You transition from one to other.
Hmm.
I was born in a female body, and now I am identify as a man. That's how I portray myself. So similarly for transgender, there will be, I was born as female, now I portray as man. So similarly, there will be people who are born as a male, but they would like to portray themselves as a female. They see themselves
Mm.
as female. Okay,
Mm.
so those are transgender. So Hijra is a sect within the trans women community. Not
Okay.
all trans women are Hijra either. All right, and Hijra is a sect of trans women community, but they're more visible. So people, when you say trans, they often connect with Hijra, but that's not correct.
Okay, so let's come back to your story. So you had visited some slums to find some hijras. Yeah, then continue, please.
Assamese Hijra. I mean, because
Okay.
when first time when I met Hijra was in my college days in Gujarat.
Okay.
And I saw them and I realized that there's something common between me and them, but I didn't know what. I
Mm.
didn't realize that time, but I knew that there's something common. Okay, because it takes time also, and that time because I didn't know anybody like me, so I did not know, but I just knew that I didn't feel okay in my own body, you know. I knew that, but I couldn't put it. I couldn't articulate it. I couldn't, But I saw his ras, and I know something is different and something is similar. So
Mm.
I also had the same thing. I also thought that um, transgender mean Hijra. All right. So I did not want it, And for me, I was ignorant, of course, and I thought that Hijras mean beggars or prostitute, and I didn't want it to connect with that, my own ignorance. But so I denied that. In fact, I denied when lots of people asked me if I'm transgender. My friend knew before I did. So, but I denied that. But finally, when I accepted myself, and then I could have more empathy or compassion. So when I went to the slum and when I met this Assamese woman, and she said she is Mohanto Manu. So Mohanto is I guess
Great person.
no class of Assamese community, right? So she
Mahanta,
said,
yeah, surname.
yeah. So he said, I am Mohanto Manu. How can I work for others? That's what he said. Like, I'm Mohanto. How can I work for others? That's why he didn't do farming, though he had 10 bighas of land in the village. So that was an eye-opening point for me, you know.
Mm.
So you don't mind being prostitute, but you cannot work as a farmer,
Mm.
you know. So I was just thinking about that, and in the evening I happened to meet Prakash in a wedding,
Mm.
and I was just reflecting the days, my experience, and I was when he said that he writes script and he's involved with the movie industry. So I said that why don't you make something documentary? I thought 30-minute documentary about Assamese Hijra, tell the story.
Mm.
But he said he'd love to. It's his also dream from childhood, but he wanted to make a feature film.
Mm.
So I was thinking
Nice.
like I took early retirement. I said that I cannot produce this whole movie. He said, so I thought that I'll talk to two, three other people. Maybe three of us can produce a movie. But
Nice.
everybody bail out, and for me, um, I believe if I give a word that I like to keep my word as much as possible. That's important to me. And then and also to see Prakash and how genuinely he was interested and he was putting 100% in it. So I like people who really take things seriously because I am also a serious person, and to give 100% to something. The result is not in our hand, but when we try, we can put 100%. You know,
Mm.
and I don't see that often. I do not see that often in Assam, and I get very frustrated. When people say like, "Yeah, I'll do it," yeah, sorry, they do not mean sorry. When you mean sorry, sometimes you won't even say sorry. You'll just
Mm.
show it by your action that you are 100% when you mean sorry, right? Otherwise, you'll
Casual,
come and say
casual
sorry.
attitude.
Yes. So I saw
Mm.
that he was really honestly want to do this. So I wanted to keep my word. So
Nice.
that's how the
So,
movie happened.
are you back from US permanently, or are you still there?
No, I'm still there.
Okay.
Generally, my
Uh,
plan was that, I moved to US very early in my life,
Huh.
and in US is become my, I mean, Minneapolis is become my second home because that's where I came out. I came out as a trans, and my friend over there become my family, also extended
Hmm.
family.
Hmm.
All right, and I'm also very still very what do you call it? Strong Assamese. All right, my values are Assamese, and I'm, um, and initially it was difficult because Minneapolis, where I live, is very polite. They call Minnesota nice. They like to be nice. And for them to see me, I have, I don't know anything about diplomacy, and I am very on the face, and I tell. And sometimes it was too much for people. Also, I lost quite a lot of friends too, so-called friends, because they did not know how to deal with my directness. All right, but it took years, and those people who stuck with me, they become, they become my family. When I did transitioning, I actually did not tell anybody my surgeries and all. My friend in US took care of me. They make my breakfast and lunch, and folded my clothes, and clean my house. And that's not generally common in America.
Hmm.
American are very formal. All right, they will, even when your mom give you lunch or dinner, they will say thank you, mom. Very formal place. And for them to come and help me out, you know uh, and opening their heart. I am very fiery person. I write, you know red and orange, and I'm fiery, and I like to cook, and I like to open my doors, and you know I like to make a place lively. And I feel that life is short, right? Life is
Yes,
short.
very short.
Anything could happen anytime.
Yes.
And I have lots of love. Not necessarily I have a particular person right now. The job position is vacant right now. So, but that, just because I do not have a partner doesn't mean that I shouldn't love people, right?
Hmm.
I do not want to carry my love with me to my dead bed, right? It will be
Hmm.
very heavy. So I
Hmm.
like to share it. I share it by cooking, having community dinners, and connecting people. And and I cook. So I open my door and I have community dinner every month. Previously, I used to do it every week, long time back, but that stopped. But now it's once a month. I used to do it. So America is my home. It make me sad of thinking living America also. Minneapolis, I say. There also I have an organization called Out in the Backyard. I started Out in the Backyard. They have 10 years of my life, there. But the fact is, I was serving the rich, top 2% of the world, right? So then when you go deeper and when you try to find like what is really meaningful, Northeast is dearest to me, you know, and I see how 40 girls from Dhemaji being sold every month, how witch hunting is prevalent, how, child marriage is also prevalent, how flood is happening every year, right? And I love Northeast. I love simplicity. People over here are simple,
Because
right?
of your love to Northeast, you are doing so many projects here. And that is one of the reason why I asked you, are you actually still living in the US or planning to completely move to Assam and do your work here? So Enajori
So
being one of your current project, right?
yes.
So,
So even when I'm in US, I
hmm,
actually every day work for Assam. I get call all the time. So even if I live in US, I'm just physically in US,
mentally
but
here.
all the time I'm connected to Assam and working with young leaders from Assam and youth from Assam. So I go back because I still miss. I have house there. I have my dogs and my friends and my animals and all that thing there.
Hmm,
uh, and I have built a community there. They
hmm,
have opened their heart to me. I cannot just leave them. I also want to bring them over here too. So I'm trying to do that, and quite a lot of my friends, they have come and they will come, and quite a few friends also working with my project. And Azori, they're working from US and trying to help. Uh, so I feel that my lifetime is short. you know I don't know how long I live, and COVID is coming, and anyway anybody can die. So but I want that the Enajori is not only just my vision, the Assam, the knowledge, and in a certain way, America is ahead in certain ways. And we can also learn from America's many mistakes, right? So I want them to know my friend Assam. So I organized a fundraiser called Where the Brahmaputra Meets the Mississippi, and we
Okay, nice.
showcase our culture, and we cook Indian food, and combine up two things, you know, and of course we raise fund for various things in Assam. So, and similarly, Assam also has quite a lot of things to give, you know, our indigenous food, our silk, and our art and craft, and our openness and our simplicity. You know, people are very people are independence bring isolation. Okay, more you become independent, more you are isolated. More you are isolated, quite often you may have depression. Okay, so depression is quite common in US because people are alone. So I want them to come over here. Come,
Nice.
let's adopt a village. You know,
So that's
die
what
over
through
here.
Enajori you are creating awareness. I can see that there are some webinars that you do, right?
Yes,
So is that what you are doing? I got your mission, but what
yes.
exactly is your
So,
working model?
so Enajori means unconditional love,
All right.
because the unconditional love for North is I'm back, right?
Mm.
So what my vision, our vision now is that we want to create an Assam or Pragjyotispur, in a old way, because this whole Northeast, to be the best place in India. We want to
Mm.
create that, where people say that let's go, instead of saying that, oh, let's go to Bangalore or Delhi, you know, you will be said, oh, let's work in Assam. And let's come because we have so much of greenery and we have so much of local product. You know, you know, many people think, oh, we do not have big companies. Who wants those big companies? Because if we have those big companies, that means rich will become richer, poor become poor.
Very true.
What we had Assam, I realized that what we had in Assam was perfect. We did not want too many rich people, too poor people. We want middle class people.
Financial
We do not
equality.
want, yeah, we do not want those big towers and tall towers. We do not want those big downtown. You know, more downtown, more slums. Let's have this Assam where we had more Assam type homes, and every household had some flowers and a little pond. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's have only those what we need. Let's stop being greedy and go after Western culture without really knowing about that. Let's not go after the apples and you know Lexus and Mercedes. Our Maruti car was good enough, right? So because it creates more greed and more difference, more stress. People are running after more and more material stuff. When are you going to say enough? Enough is enough. you know for me it was really great when I thought that whatever money I have, it's actually enough. I don't need more. I can live my rest of my life with whatever I have earned. Let's time to give back to others, right? you
Nice.
know I studied, did engineering, have had experience quite a lot in my life. Let's share the knowledge. Let's create more leaders, right? Because my friend always used to say that, because he's quite he's my mentor too, and he always said that, if I only become rich, then I have to always feed you. Who will go on feeding you all the time?
Mm.
I want you also to be rich so that you also invite me and
Mm.
feed me.
Mm.
And I
Nice.
agree with that, because if everybody has a basic, then it's more what do you call, more friends and more community, much better. Now I see Guwahati over here, people clean their house and just throw the garbage in the front, right? But if you all took care of, our garbages, our street dogs and our street animals, you know, and let's take ownership. No, let's claim it that this is Assam, this is my Assam, this is our Assam. Let's love Assam.
I
People
think,
love
sir,
to throw
you
it.
told about this throwing garbage outside. I think this is a mindset issue because I just remembered one incident. ATM machines. I was in one of the ATM machines. There was a dustbin where you basically throw the chit that you get from the machine.
Yeah.
And I literally took a photograph also of it. Half of the chits were outside the dustbin, even further away from the dustbin. So basically, it was even easier to throw in the dustbin, but half of the people decided to throw outside the dustbin. So I think this is really a fundamentally mindset issue. People have to, change from the mind. We cannot just force them to, change. And
Yeah, yeah.
that's
It
what.
there
And
is
it's also a difference because people have made a boundary in their mind that this is my house, that is not mine. This is mine, that is not mine. This is my car, that is not my car. This is my area, that is not my area. So when you differentiate between yours and somebody else's,
yeah,
then you tend to take care of only your property and think that everything is dirty.
yeah,
Yeah, the last thing that I want to know from you is that, see, you have, we all have to agree that there are a lot of social work that has to be done, and there are also a lot of people in Assam who know that they can contribute in one or the other way for some or the other social activities, but
yeah,
they're not aware of their, or they are not getting a means to how they can contribute. They want to do something, but they do not know how to contribute. So
sure.
what suggestions do you have for those kind of youth?
Yeah. First thing I'll say that listen to our webinars in Anazuri. That's what we are
Mhm.
trying to do. All right. Initially we had in between we have every day webinars, 7 days, because
Mhm.
our goal was to promote our local leaders. All right. When I say local leaders, means somebody who is genuinely doing something. They may be taking care of animals, or they may be working on, you know, entrepreneurship. They are working on farming, for example. You know, we Assamese eat so much of fish.
Fish.
Only 1/3 of fish is produced in Assam. 2/3 come from outside with all these germs and all the chemicals. You know, start with small pond and you
Mhm.
listen to us, or you follow us. We'll tell you where to start. To start a business, not necessarily you always need lots of money. That's a misconception. You need to know where your heart is, what you want to do, and you have to have this passion. Of course, and you have to find out some mentor. We can connect you to the mentor. We have working on education, we are working on healthcare and elder care, we are working on art and craft, we are working on gender and sexuality, we are working on animal welfare, working on entrepreneurship, farming, environment, you know all this topic, and we are inviting all these people who are doing good in Assam. And slowly we are trying to initially we try to cover big cities like Guwahati and Dibrugarh and Jorhat and Tezpur. Now it is more and more people we are getting intern, we are looking for intern. So if somebody wants to join, they can be intern with us, except that we expect them to be with us for at least for 3 months. We will mentor them, we will help them, we will interview also to know what is their interest is, so that we can align with their interests. If they're interested in doing thing for animal, then we'll connect them to people who are working with animal. And right now, for example, we have people from Gulaghat and Dhekiajuli. So we were saying that, you guys will be the leaders in your area. Find out who are the people doing good work. Through you, we want to learn about Gulaghat and Dhekiajuli. We want to know what is happening. We want to know each people who are doing good work in that area. Whether it can be, either they're really good entrepreneur, or they are, and when I say entrepreneur, I mean fair trade, doing not only doing good for yourself, you're doing good for the community. And you may be working on education or women empowerment or whatever it might be. We want to know.
Sir,
So we
anybody
have
watching
created.
right now, if they want to
Yeah,
contact Anajori, so can I have some link or something so that I can put below in the video, or if you have any
sure. I
contact number?
Yeah, we can give you the Facebook link of Anazuri. So if you send either Facebook link, or we can give you email, you can contact us via email or Facebook.
Then I'll put those links in the video below so that
Definitely,
whoever is
definitely.
interested can contact you.
Yeah. I mean, we were looking for interns, An intern could be anybody, could be older person or younger person, or as long as nowadays, as long as you have computer, or cell phone, you can do lots of research. If you are a lawyer, we need lots of lawyers so that we also want to bring people together. We want all the animal welfare people come together, because we need few basic things. Delhi, for example, you have a cremation ground. We don't have any cremation ground for animals, right? We don't have 24-hour hotline. We do not have an ambulance. We do not have a shelter. And we have to make the state government responsible, right? You cannot just take license fees for a horse car, and when the horse is old, who is taking care of the horse? The owner is leaving the horse on the street, and poor horse, whole life he worked, and now he is in the street. What is the government doing about it? And they have collected the license fees, right? So we have to make the government also accountable, right? So basically, we have to let people accountable also. People should know their right to know act. There's a right to know act. You have to know what is, even women should know when there is a sexual violence happening to them, because some people do not even know. They think that's happening. That's not a sexual violence. So through Anajori, we are also trying to talk about, all this taboo subject, which people generally don't talk. We are not trying to create Lakshmi. We are trying to create Saraswati or Durga. All right. We also want men to be more, what do you call it? No, they should have more knowledge about their privilege, so more accountable of their action. So as long as we know our rights, and as long as we are accountable, then slowly things will change. So that's what we are trying to create.
Nice. So all right, sir, it was great talking to you. And I hope, more and more youth join Anajori. And also people should definitely watch the movie, your Junaki Porwa. I think that is available. The link, it's available on some site, and they can find on YouTube also. The trailer they can find on YouTube, right?
Yes. Have you seen the movie?
I'm actually yet to see it. Today I'm going to see it, because we just spoke last night, sir. So I thought of seeing the movie. But again, I also wanted to do some research about you. So I thought, let me spend the time doing research. I'm going to watch it tonight.
So the movie is in Magic Chain.
I know
As
that.
you know, this is the first time production. And unless and until I get the investment out, I cannot produce another movie. Now we want to make various movies addressing various social issues, So this is, we are doing it online platform. Our movie got selected in 21 international film festivals.
Yes.
All right. We really need your help. I hope that you will see the movie, give us feedback. It is in Movie Chains. I'll send you the link, and please see the movie. Give us your reviews.
Sure. I'll put the link of the movie also below.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Great talking to you. Thank you.